a trip where me and a bunch of my buddies and pals, we all come up here to the Yuba River to prospect for gold. We've been working this area now for a few days. We found some really good gold, and now it's time to bring a sluice in here and do this right and move more material. This right here is a minimax super concentrator, sluice box, and high banker, all built into one. It's kind of interesting, but this unit's got legs that rotate. You can adjust them up and down, so you can articulate the leg in just about any fashion you want. And it also locks into place. It's got little push-pull pins, little locking pins. You get it in position and it holds the leg. What we're gonna do is we're gonna mount our flare on the front of this and change it from a power sluice or a concentrator into a sluice box, all in one. We've incorporated miracle mat, heavy expanded metal, and our ripple design, which is pretty slick. But not just that, it's about how this thing is designed. The rubber mat simply just slides out. Then there's another mat that you can slide into this, which is the miracle mat. So it's a great versatile tool that can be used for multiple things. So I'm going to put this thing together real quick. Guide it through the little slots right here. Move this forward. Make sure that we have this all the way tucked forward. You can take the wing nut off and the nut. You can actually lift the screen out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just overlap that like so. And then I can place the screen back in it. And it actually fits into the first little gap here in the ripples. And that way we're getting a good seal. And there's a little bit of a gap underneath the mat, which allows for a little bit more concentration and a little bit more surface area for your black sands. But you know what? We'll end up seeing most of our gold right in the very beginning. So I'm going to put this on. And now I'm going to attach the flare to it. Set that down like so. Undo your wing bolts or your wing nuts. Got to be careful that you don't drop them in the water. Okay. Okay, now that I got my sluice bolted in, I'm going to make sure that this gap in here is closed and really tight. So before I tighten up any of my side bolts, I tighten these bottom ones. And I make sure they're tight so I don't have a gap. Especially on the sides. Sometimes it's a good idea to carry like a little multi-tool if you really need to tighten them up. Okay. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to fold our legs in position. I don't need much height for where I am, so I'm going to keep it kind of low. Lift up my little lock button. I'm going to move that over. Straight up and down is good for that. Actually, I'll kick the back ones back. And I'll leave my back one straight. Kind of a slick thing. And Do the same with the other side. And this is a real interesting design, how these legs, nobody else has anything like it. It's actually a pretty good way to engineer it. And of course, it's the precision or the quality you would expect from us. Okay, got it locked in. Adjust my leg. Okay, one more leg to do. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take the sluice. Look at that, it's all together. Everything's tight and ready to go. So we're going to set it down in the water now. And then we'll do the final adjustment and try to achieve a nice flow. What I'm going to do is I pretty much got a good V here. I got a good amount of flow. I got a fairly decent drop. So it shouldn't be that difficult to set up. So I'm going to drop these down a bit. And move this into position. Drop down the back a bit. Okay, I got the sluice set up. I've got my legs all adjusted properly. I don't have a lot of tilt in here, so I'm using a little bit of water volume, a little more water volume to help push the material through. Through this process, sometimes you have to readjust it as you go along. Put a couple of rocks up front here, just to kind of help corral some of that water into the large flare. And I'm ready to start trying it. Now, people are always trying to wonder, you know, how much tilt should I use? Or how much water going through the sluice? Well, that really depends on how much water energy and velocity that you have going through. If you got fast water going through, you can lift up the sluice. If you don't have a lot of speed of water, then you can drop it down and use the volume to help move that rock through there. We're not going to do much classifying, so I want that volume and that surface area of the rock to help push that material out. And I've got some deep ripples in here, along with some shorter ripples that work great for fine gold recovery. And with our expanded metal and also our Miracle Mat, it all makes a real good combination. Now these bolts up here at the top of the flare, not even needed, not even necessary. I think we're ready to get to work.
Right on, Rose. Having a good time?
Yes.
And finding some gold.
I found more gold than I ever found in 2.5 days.
That's awesome. There we are with the minimax sluice. Point us where?
There's big pieces right there, right there, right there, and right there.
Yeah, I can see it.
If I had my sniffer bottle in my pocket, I would pull them out. Because I know my minimax sluice is going to keep that going.
Hey, we're finally getting some sunlight.
Right?
So how's your sluice box working?
It's working really, really good. My gold's just sitting there, not moving at all.
And your trowel that you're using, my trowel,
It does a lot of
is a Keene Engineering new crevice claw scoop shovel. But I'll tell you, it's made out of super hard plastic. It's got a stainless steel replaceable tip on it, and you can also take it off. And one of the concerns I had was using it while metal detecting. But you know what? My metal detector doesn't even pick it up because I can get it just far enough away up on side of the coil that I don't pick it up at all. Yeah, the indicator mat's doing a great job. The ripples looking fine. You know what? We don't have perfect lights, but we got a perfect running sluice.
Right?
And that's the miracle mat in the beginning with the expanded metal heavy gauge. It's got the high-low ripple matting.
Okay, I'm going to help her out here by showing her how to clean out this sluice. This is a minimax sluice, and I'll show you how easy it is. Just pick up the whole sluice, bring it over to the bucket, kind of push it into the bucket a touch. Okay, now we're going to clean out the sluice. We got some good gold in here also. It's pretty nice to clean out a sluice that has gold. So what we're going to do now is we're going to undo this screw, this wing nut. I think we'll just toss that in the concentrate bucket for now. Then remove the screen. Wash off the screen real good. Okay. First we have the miracle mat that fits in here. Right, it's kind of tucked underneath the other mat. We're going to pull that off right into the bucket. Be very careful because the stuff gets trapped in the back of these little ripples here. We got that, miracle mat. Now the last mat is a little more difficult, but before we do that, we're going to wash the gold out of the sluice. And that's how we clean the last matting out. Isn't that slick? It's got high ledges and it slides right underneath this lip. Works out really good. And for finishing it, there, it's all cleaned out. Sometimes it's a lot easier than a big flip-up ripple, super lightweight, and the new adjustable legs. Just by pulling the pin out, rotating it, and changing your angle. And now you can fold this thing up. For easy carrying. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the pan, and we're going to use one classifier. So I got a 1/4-inch classifier. I'm going to need a... I wish I got it. Okay. Make sure I get every bit of the bucket, because the big gold's at the very bottom. We got our 1/4-inch screen here. Lots of nails, garbage. I'll still check through this stuff because sometimes I'll find meteorites. Who knows, maybe even a diamond. Maybe a gold nugget. Okay. Okay, now we're going to pan out some of our concentrates from the minimax. A lot of black sand, that's a good sign. Make sure you shake it up really good. Get that black sand to drop down in the gold. Get that light material come up, then take a couple of sweeps. Okay, keep on doing this. Look at that, I see a pretty good flake right there. Time to shake it back down again. I see some large pieces of lead, some pieces of wire. Now I'm going to be real gentle with it. Sometimes when people get down to this point, it's a good idea to pan into a little panning tub or another gold pan. But I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's some pretty nice gold there. That's only 2 days working for Rose. That's the most she ever found in a short period of time. She worked hard and she deserves it, and we had a great time finding it.